Welcome. My name is Derek Piet, and I'm going to take you through the PTC requirements and validation solution. We will start with a brief introduction, then explore the PTC requirements and validation solution. Next will be a brief video demonstration of the solution, and finally we'll close with a summary. Within the PTC ALM division, our mission and goal is to be the premier provider of ALM solutions for manufacturers of smart connected products. We fulfill this mission by providing a holistic software and systems engineering approach that enables successful collaboration, automation, and reuse across teams and disciplines. The ALM solutions include global software development, requirements and validation, model-based systems engineering, and software modeling. Today, I will focus on the requirements and validation solution, but you can find webcasts on all of the other solutions on our website. Why requirements and validation matters. As you can see here in this figure, there's some information regarding an analysis that has been done among a number of different customers to understand when they can't deliver a product on time, what is the cause of that problem. You'll notice that new and changed requirements are a significant impact in that product delivery delay. When new requirements are developed, customers have a challenge of being able to understand when those requirements need to be efficiently and effectively included in the updates to the product, or if a requirement changes, whether it be internally or when you're collaborating with a supplier or a contract manufacturer, how do you correctly and accurately understand that those requirements need to be modified? How do you communicate across those different organizations and being able to successfully deliver your product on time? The key message here is that requirements are a consistent cause of problem when your product needs to be delivered on time. If we look at typical challenges that come when you think about requirements and validation, we really focus them into four typical buckets. The first one is really around isolated disciplines, where you have this lack of visibility to understand, who is working on what, who needs to collaborate with one another, and being able to share information between the different organizations. The second one is from a late validation and verification processes. This is where companies tend to do verification or testing much later in that process, and when they find a challenge, having to correct those errors later is really more costly to the product information, which really skyrockets not only the cost of the product, but also being able to have the product comply to the different regulatory organizations. Then we talk about the actual applications and repositories that manage this content and information. If there's a lot of different applications involved, you get disconnected or disjoint tools and disjoint applications that can't communicate to each other. And so you're not being able to understand when the product is ready to release on time. Lastly, the challenge here is really thinking about how do you reuse information. A lot of companies reuse things manually or in an ad hoc fashion, and there's no consistency, there's no visibility or traceability of information between what was used in product version A or version B, or even different similar product lines where there needs to be consistency in between the delivery mechanisms. Some companies look at this as a kind of a platform-based approach of reusing information or understanding common design processes. The PTC requirements and validations really focuses on ensuring that customers deliver successful specifications, definitions, validation, and verification of their complex products. We look at managing the information in a single source of truth for consistently and never-ending evolving requirements and test information. To analyze those requirements and really make sure they understand them in the context of the design process, so that if a requirement or a test asset changes, you can understand the impact of those changes and be able to identify and capture that information and communicate it effectively to the appropriate stakeholders. In addition, many companies need to exchange requirements not only internally between their departments, but also externally from a number of different suppliers or vendors, and being able to exchange those requirements in a rich context information, as well as capturing differences is a key aspect of many companies and within the solution here. And also being able to manage the different platform variations of those requirements and test assets. We look at differentiating our solution as an end-to-end traceable solution so you can really provide a holistic view of the information and the product that's being developed. I'd be able to handle a standards-based approach for managing data and exchanging data between suppliers and vendors. Controlling and configuration management of all of the assets so that you have granular information and be able to provide compliance and governance models for quality aspects and quality related control of your design processes and your product information. And it's really proven by many different enterprises to really have used by tens of thousands of different users, as well as a numerous set of customers that we'll be showcasing you a little bit later. Now, if we look into the different aspects of the solution, it really breaks down into three key areas. The first one we'll talk about is requirements management. Requirements are really gathered and managed continuously throughout the life of your product and project. Whether you're gathering them at a very high level or at the voice of the customer, or you need to decompose them into lower level requirements, whether those be specifications or subsystem requirements or even specific discipline-based requirements. In addition, customers throughout that product lifecycle need to continually collaborate and capture and manage those requirements to determine the impact of those changes, as well as identifying if these requirements are orphaned or basically disconnected or non-traceable to the rest of the information, or disconnected either to the separate requirements as they're decomposed or to the product information that needs to be satisfying those requirements. When we think about the benefits of mature requirements management practices, it really thinks about how it really takes your team less time to define and document the user needs. Understanding that what the user requires and being able to capture that information and agree upon that information is really a key aspect. But that's just the beginning of this process. The real benefit of mature requirements practices is being able to reduce the overall product development costs and reducing that time to market, getting that information so that you understand and build the right products in the first pass and the ones that really fully meet the customer needs. The second aspect of the solution is around the focusing and management of test information. As a manufacturer, you need to both verify and validate your systems and software meet the original requirements. Your teams need to validate that the software system works as intended and that it's doing the right thing. Does it actually meet the criteria that it was defined for? This is usually a multi-step process as the requirements need to be decomposed. You also need to decompose the verification process and test cases as well, and understand that these sets of verification or test artifacts satisfy the different types of requirements and managing those things as effectively as possible. What kind of methods do you use and procedures that need to be followed so you're understanding that your teams are doing the right things. And this is especially critical when you're developing safety critical aspects where compliance is a key component and you need to make sure you've done requirements-based testing so that you can prove that these requirements were validated and verified and met. And these are the result criteria based on that. When we focus on our tests, we're meant to support both test verification and validation, and we do this by really making it easy to trace both horizontally and vertically through your test verification processes. The horizontal tests, really associate test cases to the original requirements, while the vertical test cases understanding between the high level, kind of system or product testing down to subsystem and component level testing. And as a result, and the benefits a customer sees are really being able to reduce the time and effort to evaluate, is their product ready to release, and understanding, is it ready and have you met the specific criteria necessary to release the product. Understanding, how can you focus on reducing the amount of duplicate testing, streamline that testing, and understanding how many tests are being run. Am I running the test duplicatively or in multiple times? And understanding, do you need to reduce the amount of tests in order to more effective test execution? And understanding that your product is a higher quality by increasing the coverage of those requirements. So being able to really prove that you validated and verified the information and that the product was meant to be. And the third aspect of the requirements and validation solution is really about requirements exchange or interchange. Here, a lot of our customers work in industries with this complex, multi-tiered supply chains. And what comes into that domain is you need to continually exchange requirements between suppliers or vendors. In this example, companies, or even this could exist within different divisions. One division may be a supplier to another division, and they use different types of requirement in capturing of those requirements. So here you really need to exchange requirements across boundaries, whether it be internal boundaries or external boundaries. And some manufacturers really share them both upstream and downstream within the different companies. So here you may even need to bridge different applications such as IBM doors into PTC Integrity Lifecycle Manager. And our requirements interchange application really focuses on being able to exchange rich requirement data that includes both images and relationships effectively between organizations so that you can understand these sets of requirements need to be fulfilled, and they're also related to these other requirements that are included. So there may be multiple requirement contexts delivered to you as a supplier or as a provider of information, and you need to be able to collaborate and effectively look at those, as well as being able to understand how it has changed from the previous release that you received from the last checkpoint within your contractual organization. And when you think about it, a mature way to interchange or exchange requirements, you really need to be able to effectively collaborate across both your peers and your suppliers to really maximize your investment so that you're not wasting time when you're exchanging requirements. You can do that in an effective way, in a consistent way, and also be able to standardize the exchange process effectively. We have many customers using our requirements and validation solution. Here are 3 examples in these examples coming from the automotive supplier, where you have Continental, Hitachi, and Yazaki all providing you with quotations or snippets of information of how they have leveraged the requirements and validation solution from PTC to really streamline and improve their process, consistency, and compliance information. Now that we've gone through the solution, let's look at a short demonstration of the solution to get you a better feel for what the actual solution delivers.
The Integrity client is a visual arrangement of multiple views in a single window. Views may be adjacent to each other, or they may share the same space in a tabbed group. The interface provides you with maximum usability and flexibility to create the work environment suited to your needs. Let's take a deeper look at the traceability and relationships between artifacts and Integrity Lifecycle Manager. We will begin by looking into an Integrity Lifecycle Manager project, which is a container for documents, hence a way to group items pertaining to your organization and/or business. In this environment, we group documents per project and release. In this Summary tab, I can see information about the health of this project, the risk, start date, freeze date, and even stakeholders for the project. In the Metrics tab, this can be configured. Here we have process metrics of pending, open and closed change requests, defects, test objectives, and sessions. In the Relationship tab, you can see items that provide structure to your integrity configuration, establishing hierarchies and traceability, such as documents, test plans, change requests, defects, and relationships between other people. Let's take a deeper look into how Integrity Lifecycle Manager supports requirements. You can see customer requirements, how they decompose to requirements that are satisfied by designs, which in turn are verified by tests, the last result of the test, how the test is blocked by a defect, and see the code that was modified to fix the defect. Instead of having to go to multiple systems to find out how everything is interlinked with each other, this can be done with a few short clicks in Integrity, since it is a single repository containing all these artifacts. PTC Integrity comes with reports at various levels of granularity. There are reports at the product or program, release, iteration, and team levels. In addition, product filters can be used at each of these levels to provide more granular reports at each level. Computed expressions are supported with the ability to roll up results from child artifacts to produce a status summary automatically. Report chart queries and dashboards can be shared with individuals or groups. Dashboards provide real-time visibilities into the status of your sprints and support drill down into the underlying data. In this example, we are running Document Traces report on Relationship Structure View that shows how all this information is connected with just a few short clicks. Now we will switch to the different role of an author to describe the different ways that the documents can be created in Integrity, and what you will be showing will be for any type of Integrity document. From the query, we are opening the requirements in the standard layout. A user is able to edit any cell if they have access to the author and edit documents. We will also change the format of the text, import pictures, tables, and other things. Documents are categorized by type. For example, with requirements, you can have user, functional, non-functional requirements, and level, top-level requirement or sub-requirement. As you can see, this demo contains templates for requirements documents, test protocols, hazard analysis, risk, and FEMA. With Integrity Lifecycle Manager, you can configure the right templates to improve productivity, standards, and other improvements as pertaining to your business needs. Requirement documents can either be imported or exported to other systems or file formats. In addition, they can be directly edited in Microsoft Word. A system administrator defines item types. For example, requirements, change requests, defects, or test sessions. So in this Properties tab, you can see many different types of requirements items. Each item type may display a different layout, tabs, fields, and have different names from the default names. In addition, administrators define what types and fields are visible to users. On the Advanced tab, a number of metrics, validated by trace count and validated by pass percentage, can be viewed for each requirement. PTC Integrity provides a full, feature-rich configuration management solution. That includes baselines and branching. Baselines capture the current state of the requirement document. Comments are used for additional information about the baseline. Once a baseline is created, then it can be compared to different versions of the same document. The appropriately selected baselines are chosen and the View Differences action is then invoked. The changes between the baselines are highlighted in red with the difference report. A Microsoft Word integration exists for export, import, and live editing. A requirements document can be quickly exported using the gateway functionality to create a predefined formatted Word document. The Word document contains all of the necessary information for the requirements. PTC Integrity Lifecycle Manager offers a completely integrated test approach, where test management is an integral part of continuous process connecting design, development, testing, and deployment phases of the application lifestyle. With Integrity Lifecycle Management, you can see how easy it is to find all upstream and downstream items related to this test protocol document. PTC Integrity Lifecycle Manager also supports branching, which allows you to support concurrent development of projects having very similar documents. Branching one or more documents creates a new copy of each existing document so that you can use them to begin work on a new project or document. PTC Integrity uses workflows to enforce business process. Every artifact has its own enforceable workflow, which describes how it moves from state to state, complete with definable rules, full audit trails, and security. PTC Integrity workflows can be used to support many additional areas beyond software and is used by several customers to manage systems level change, hardware, electrical, mechanical, etc. Workflow can be configured at the project, document, and item level. All workflows are cataloged and a full revision history is stored for each workflow. Additionally, the flexible PTC Integrity Workflow Engine allows for multiple processes to be coexistent, including Agile, Waterfall, Functional Safety, Hazard Analysis, and other processes. PTC Integrity provides a wide variety of charts, reports, and queries that can be built into dashboards to display metrics for users in different roles or job functions. For example, a dashboard showing my work could be created for individual developers. A project management dashboard may be used by project managers, while a defect management dashboard may be useful for software development managers. PTC Integrity supports numerous metrics out of the box. If desired or needed, additional metrics can be collected and reported using custom-developed calculated fields and/or triggers. The information in these dashboards are live, not static, so you know you are getting the latest information all being tracked in the system. The Integrity Lifecycle Manager tracks the traceability between requirements, test cases, defects, and the related development activities to ensure the project receives complete test coverage while enabling teams to easily determine the status of an entire project and to assess the impact on testing work by changing the requirements. Test Results Editor provides a focused environment where test executors work. Results on manual testing can be entered, querying for existing defects on a test case can be performed, new defects can be raised and linked to the workflow, and attachments can be added. Additionally, test results captured via automation can also be displayed and reviewed within this editor. In this example, we can see the failed test result and find more information on the failure. Defects can easily be created directly from the test results to track the corrective action from the failed test. The defect captures all of the necessary information related to the failed test and is explicitly related to the failed test case. Any number of related items can also be associated to the test case. All of this information is traced in Integrity Lifecycle Manager. Reports enable project managers, business users, and QA managers to view how the project, requirements, and test cases have changed over time, facilitating team collaboration and communication. PTC Integrity's test management enables engineering organizations to improve product quality while meeting today's increasingly demanding timelines through its support for requirements-based testing and parameterizing testing, and its test and test artifacts reuse capabilities.
In summary, PTC's requirements and validation solution includes all of the capabilities you need to ensure successful specification, definition, and validation of complex products, including end-to-end traceability, built-in change and configuration management, scalable information to a number of sets of users, and a robust standards-based requirements interchange process. The solution of requirements and validation features new subscription-only packages that allows you to make it easier to outfit your teams for success and be able to deliver the solutions to a broader set of organizations and consumers. I suggest you follow some next steps by finding more information about the requirements and validation solution at the website listed here, or contact your local PTC account representative.